Guys, what is up? It's Philip at Trade Genius. Before we get started, we're going to get into the outlook for Bitcoin this week, coming out of our up, down, up flip formation. We discussed that last week. Usually you see that toward the bottom because there's a little bit of a chop and fight, and you will get back and forth signal, but generally the last arrow pointing up or down is the direction for the next thrust. So we'll get into that. Before we do, make sure you check out our summer specials. Again, these are our courses, so if you want to learn and use the methodology that we use, low risk, high reward entries, here's where you can get those. Those are half off right now, so don't forget that. All right, let's get back to the chart here.
Trade Genius.
So big picture, we're looking at Bitcoin daily, and here is the current channel that we're in. As you can see, we are putting in a inverted head and shoulders, right? So what we have is, the right shoulder, head, and left shoulder, and we were calling that out last week. We were looking for that. One thing to point out on this move here is normally when you come up and you test a level after you've broken through it from the bottom side, and then do another retest and that fails, that's usually a pretty hard failure, and you go lower. In this case, that would produce a move historically down to, say, the 5,500 or lower, making a new low. But it's actually starting to turn up here, making that right shoulder. So if we can break back above to this level here, it's this 6,800, 6,850 level, I would expect the probabilities of that to break through as being pretty high, and then that's going to take us into this upper trend line area of about 7,500 or so. That move could be fairly quick because we do have the volume void in here, and when Bitcoin starts to move, it can move pretty quickly. So if they clear that level, this move up to 7,500 would not surprise me if it happened relatively quick. Now let's look a little bit closer, because what's happening here is, again, this is more of a zoomed in on this inverted head and shoulders. So obviously here, guys, what we're dealing with is a pullback to the fib buy zone, and the target on that actually matches up with a corresponding support and resistance level at just under $7,100. So that's the current target for this thrust up if we can break the neckline. Otherwise, the ultimate measured move of this inverted head and shoulders, if this does not violate this low, okay, if this low gets violated by the time you see this video, then this whole bottoming pattern is invalidated in my book. Probably get a test back at this low here briefly, but at that point, odds are it's going to break lower down toward the 5,500 area. But for now, we're going to talk about what's currently valid. So this move here, what we got to do is take our tool here, price range, and we're going to take it up to the neckline here, approximately there. Okay, so then what we're going to do is just measure the move. If we break out of that, the technical way you measure that is the height of the neckline to the head. So that's going to take us to approximately measured move of 7,845. Okay, and then that's where we would run into this upper trend line. So I think that's a pretty good setup there. Again, in the room we got long at 6,100. Why? Well, because when we came back down here and broke back up through here on decent volume, we broke basically this area here of that order block of buys and sells. There's a fight in there, and we broke back above it. So coming back down to retest, obviously that's the area you want to be in. Plus you have the confluence of a right shoulder formation in relation to the left shoulder formation, and you also have this bullish fib area. So going forward, we have a bearish fib zone from this move down that we need to punch through. We've got this moving average. This is our momentum moving average, the weighted moving average of 20 period weighted moving average, and then above that our 65 period moving average. And usually you're going to see price react to both those levels. And so you've got this level right above here, and this level here at, so basically what you're looking at is 64.27, see some hesitation there as we grind into the zone at 6,500, expect a fight there, and then 6,663 is about where this moving average is, so that some resistance there. And then on top of that, you got this larger fib bear zone that has already come back and been tested. So this is, once you test it once and then you go back into a larger area again for a retest, it has less clout. You do have some decent support and resistance there, but again, that plays into that 6,800 level now getting tested for a third time if we get up there, and likely that should break back to the upside at that point. And then above that you have 7,087. So tons of work for the bulls, not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination, but we do have some bullish things setting up, have some pretty, bullish things going on news-wise, more so than negative lately in the crypto space. So we'll see how that pans out this week. But again, we're in the room, we're long from 6,100. So that's pretty much the outlook right now on Bitcoin. Tomorrow's video, you might want to take a look, because we're going to take a look at Ethereum and how you can see where the overbought and oversold areas have been on it. We're going to look at a log chart, and really it's been also identifying kind of the low and highs of the entire alt market too, for the most part. So we'll cover that in the video tomorrow morning. Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Take care. Bye.
Trade Genius.